guys, welcome back. Behind me is a B5 Audi S4. Of course, in stock standard form, these came with the 2.7 liter bi-turbo V6. Now, what is the big problem a lot of people have with these older Audis? It's that they're nose heavy. So this one in front of me today has a 1.8, well, it used to be a 1.8, we'll get into it, inline 4 turbo. So we're gonna go out for a drive, talk to the owner and see if it has solved this issue, if it's a little bit better to drive on the street. Let's go.
My name is Jeff Elworthy. This is my 2000 S4. So I grew up driving Volkswagens. I bought a A4 maybe 10 years ago now and kind of fell in love with it. It was a lot more sporty car than the Volkswagens I drove before. Then I found this S4 shell. I kind of swapped everything into it, and over the last 8 years I've kind of just built it up into what it is now. It's a 2-liter stroker, big turbo, runs on E85, water methanol. It's got a big brake kit. Pretty much you name it, I've done it to the car. Upgraded sway bars, upgraded differentials, LSDs.
Of course, the B5 S4, late 90s, early 2000s, Audi S4. Small, chuckable, daily car, not quite an RS4. Of course, Cosworth Engineering took this, well, the engine that used to be in this, that came with a factory, the 2.7 liter bi-turbo V6, and engineered the shit out of it, pardon my language, to create the B5 RS4. Upon first impressions, it makes sense. You cut off 2 cylinders. It's still, of course, a longitudinally mounted engine. I mean, you do have 1 more cylinder in length, but of course, the weight of the engine is far less here. You've got 1 less turbo and 2 less cylinders. Oh, wow, yeah. 3,500 boost sneaks up. I would say the boost sneaks up. So much vibration through the throttle and the steering wheel. All solid motor mounts. He's done diff bracing front and rear, these billet pieces that just keep everything in check, in addition to the mounts being solid. So vibrations everywhere. Yeah, connected car, but somehow, you know, with these stock seats, stock steering wheel, stock interior, other than this awesome cooler work shifter and the snow performance gauge, other than those things, it feels race car. Like, you look around and the seats feel stock and it's still comfortable, BC Racing coilovers, but everything else, oh God, it revs up so fast. Little bit of push on throttle, but that's to be expected. Yeah, that's some torque.
I do daily it, yeah. It's a horrible daily, but it's a fun daily. I mean, anytime you have a bad day at work, you jump in it, the turbo spools up, the blow-off valve goes off, and you just smile all the way home. So my first A4, I used to take it and rally it down the logging roads and jump it, all that kind of stuff. This one though, I'm gentle with it. I know what it costs to fix stuff now. I'm a little more careful with it, and I don't really want to wreck my all my hard time in work, that's for sure. So
yeah.
Yep. Basically, the transmission in the car has got a torsion center differential that splits the torque between the front and rear wheels. I've basically put a shim kit in it that converts it to an 80-20 split between the rear and front, gets rid of your understeer. And I've also put a JHM limited slip differential in the rear of the car as well. So you do get rear wheel spin out of it. You can kind of drift it around corners, all that kind of stuff. You get it in the wet or the snow or anything like that, and it's, yeah, nice and maneuverable. And
it's anti-Haldex.
Yes, yes, it is anti-Haldex, yeah.
I mean, this was kind of before Haldex was really like
yeah, you can keep your foot into it in a drift, and you can smoke the tires and stuff like that going around corners. I mean, your ABS isn't going to kick in and tell you not to do stuff. There's no doubt about that, yeah. Launching the car, I don't do it too often. It's kind of my baby. It kind of hurts everything when you launch stuff. It launches fairly well though. I mean, it's got launch control. You can belt it out to 5,000 RPM or whatever you have it set at, and just off you go, spin your tires and have some fun.
All right, snow performance gauge. We're gonna turn on meth injection. We do have meth injection. It's using the factory washer fluid tank. And we're good. Let's do a pull. Let's see what we can do. Start out 3,000 RPM. making a lot of power. Keep in mind, you guys, we have a ton of weight to chuck around. These Audis are not light. I get where it is. As soon as you step into one of these cars, you understand where it is. The doors have a nice, solid feel to them. Everything's built great. The quality, the interior quality, how it's held up, the build quality, amazing, outstanding. And that's kind of where it all went, but you'll try pull here, see what we can do. We do have no lift shift as well. Oh my. Yeah, that's fire. Yeah, Jeff, you're not messing around. All right, there is a monster underneath the body of this car that just needed a little bit of coaxing to get out. It's almost a sleeper, aside from the bright yellow Brembos, 6-piston, huge brakes up front. Yeah, so after I did a pull, the check engine lights come on, and it's not giving me consistent throttle here. It's kind of choking a little bit. He did tell me it might bog down a little bit. The sweet smell of ethanol. Yeah, the shifter's great. I've driven a bunch of cars with these kind of exposed shifters, and they're mostly hit or miss. A lot of the times they're too short for daily or just kind of street use, comfortable use. But this one feels awesome. It's a great height, and the throw isn't too short. It did bog down there a little bit. We're running ethanol, we're running full E85, and the spool, I mean, a little bit of throttle around 3,000 RPM, half throttle, waiting. Yeah, 3,300 RPM, and it's just kind of booting up, and it doesn't take long. So, you know, it's a work in progress. Jeff just painted the rear end of this car and did a bunch of rust repair and paint correction yesterday, or in the last like 2 days. So there is that. I mean, he's done an awesome job. I have attempted to paint a bumper before. It's not easy, especially when you have no idea what you're doing.
As you can see from the mismatched colors on my car, I am not an artist by any means. I know what I've got to get better at. I've watched some videos. I'm going to end up respraying the car at this point, and all it's going to do is teach me how to do something a little bit better in the end. So I've learned some lessons and learned what not to do, so it's better than it was in the end. Like, the back bumper had some pretty big gouges on it. The front grille was all rock chipped everywhere along the front of the hood and everything like that. So at the end of the day, it's a little bit better than it was. And the only thing done to the transmission is a GHM 1-2 shift kit. The transmissions have a problem with the collars locking up on them, just the 1-2 shift collar. So I've upgraded that to the carbon synchros and kind of got rid of the grindy first and second gear issues. So it's got a big port AEB head in it with Schritt cams, Supertech valves, titanium springs and retainers to so you can rev out a little bit better. Going down, it's bored out to 2 liters with Mahle Motorsport pistons, IE rifle drilled H-beam connecting rods, 2-liter crank. In the bottom end, it's got the IE girdle kit on it to stop the block from flexing, fluid damper pulley on the front, single mass flywheel on the back, ARP hardware all through it everywhere. Built for 1,000 horse and only pushes out 500, something like that. So, but I do feel like this little 2-liter, it kicks the crap out of most stage 3 S4s with the KO4s and everything like that. So I'm kind of happier with this than I would be with the 2.7, I think.
There's fire. Just banging gears, man, that's fun. Back her down. Once you get the hang of it, it is an animal. The whole Audi premise of Quattro is amazing, but then a lot of the cars are just mostly ruined because the engine's so far in front of the front axle. And a lot of people get Audis wrong for that reason. They're not sports cars. A lot of the cars with Quattro are not. TTRS, sure, a little bit different. The modern 5-cylinders, yeah, because they're transverse mounted. But here in the longitudinal cars, yeah, it's a different story. It's kind of ironic though, because these engines, the variety of engines that Audi was coming out with is so amazing that you want to tune it up, you want to make it fast, And you need 500 horsepower here to make up for the weight, but it works. Yeah, I'll tell you, it works. Steering's great. I do not remember S4 steering to be this precise, but it is. Wow, just pulls and pulls and pulls. Whoa! Yeah, the synchro in third is going, but dang, I mean, it still pushes. Upon entry, it's a little bit better, but you have to like fully just anticipate with a little bit of apprehension when boost is gonna hit when you're exiting a corner, because as soon as the power hits, even sending 80% of the torque to the rear, it begins to push out of a corner. So you just have to be ready for that. I'm sure if we were, you know, if this was a cold day or we were on loose surface, yeah, the back end would probably kick out. It would probably be the most fun ever. Dirt roads in an Audi Quattro, I mean, that's what these cars are made for. It's supposed to be kind of the best blend of off-road and on-road performance. And of course, this one's lowered.
So they're just 18-inch Enki Rygen wheels, nice lightweight wheels. I think they're about 17 pounds a piece on the wheels. The brake setup is a Brembo 6-piston caliper on the front with 345 millimeter rotors. They're brakes off a Porsche Cayenne or Volkswagen Touareg, the V10 Touareg. Same on the back. They're basically a 4-piston Brembo caliper on the back with a 330 millimeter rotor. Yeah, it's the best upgrade I think I've done to the car is putting a big brake kit on it.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for bringing the car out.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's taking a smaller 4-cylinder. It's brought this closer to what a Lancer Evo is or a WRX, and I think that's cool. I mean, Audi's, that's always been their Achilles heel. The weight up front, the understeer, and this somewhat solves it. It feels much better than definitely a 4.2 that I've driven. I've never driven the 2.7 before, but God, Jeff, you've built something truly fun. Not frightening, but it's got personality. Thanks, guys, for watching. Thank you, Jeff, for bringing the car out. Really appreciate it. Yeah, let me know what you guys would rather have, an Evo or this, or something else, or keep the 2.7, 4.2, whatever your heart desires. Subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you next time.